Good morning, everyone. I know Bobby, Kevin from Elion, and Sony from Alphabet cannot make it today. Let's wait to see how many people we get on call, then we can decide to postpone or we can continue. Okay. What should we do, guys? I think we are. Let me share my screen. We are all the way review to line item 40. The next 4 items that we need to review is latency topics. Should we wait for others or we continue? I know, Majid, you and I previously in previous meetings of basically in same kind, we chat about 40, 41, 42, 43 in past and 45.
Right. We probably need others because it's important that it's a consensus.
Exactly. And you and I are already chat about this a couple of months ago. But what about others? I don't want to ignore anybody. Oh, Baki is on the call.
Hey, so
yes,
I can't make tomorrow's BOEM meeting and also the one the week after.
Correct.
So Ela can't make it either.
I emailed you this morning and I said, what's the agenda? If I know what's supposed to do, I can run.
Well, the agenda is we've got only 3 things on the running agenda, right? One is Kash and Ahmad's smaller, narrower bow for IoT. The second is the memory interface from Kevin. And the third is, if we can revive it, is your optical stuff we need to reach out to Prem from Light Matter. I keep getting the light companies confused, but Light Matter, I think.
Okay.
And but we need to. Those are our 3 running items. That's it.
Okay. Then should I reach out to Cash and Kevin to see if they are coming or not, or
Oh,
just
if you would please, absolutely, that would be great. Because and then the 27th, I'm going to wait. No, sorry, the 20th. We're going to have Srijit talk about the new IEEE P3405 because he can't make the Friday meetings.
okay, that's great. That's the
That's
testing
basically.
protocol, correct?
Sorry.
That's testing protocol.
Yes. Interconnect test and repair. I think he's doing 3D. He's not doing 2.5D, but I keep getting confused.
But that's okay. I think it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Bobby, we are not sure should we continue this meeting because we don't have Sunny from AlphaWave and Kevin from Elion. Well, we left with the basically 4 lines item, which 5 of them are mainly related to the fake retry and latency. Those are the difficult ones. Should we continue or should we postpone? Already, I think a couple of months ago when we were running individually these meetings, with Majid, we review 40 to 44. And I remember you suggested actually 44 that we do retry or not.
I know.
Like to hear from Boone and Quinn if they have anything to add to this fake. I will be more than happy to review it with them.
So my suggestion is since tomorrow, if Kevin can make tomorrow and if Majid can attend the board meeting tomorrow, that at least this portion you revive tomorrow.
Okay, sure. I will see who is going to be on the call, then we can move forward. But out of curiosity, I think there is a big discussion. I like to hear from Boone and Quinn if they have any feedback. With the new concept of retry, not new concept, but since the new standards are adopting retry, it's really good if we can have a better estimation of the throughput, which is after fake, after retry, which we don't have it yet in this table. And we just decided to simplify it and just say, hey, do we have a retry or not? And we capture bit error rate before fake and after fake, the target bit error rate. With these 3 elements, we kind of gonna basically get to the quality of the data transfer. But if you do have a better figure of merit or better parameters needs to be measured to address this issue better or explain the quality of the data transmission, it would be great.
This is how everyone else does it, right? I mean, everyone else assumes, does give the error rate with and without, and then sort of ignores FEC beyond that for any other metric.
It's not as simple as you said, because it really depends when it gets to the latency too.
So latency, the FEC, you're saying, should the retry be in latency? The FEC should be in the latency, but not the retry, traditionally, right?
Correct.
Yeah, but I think the source of this is the way PCIe 6 and 7 are going in the flit mode. There is this low latency sort of approach that says we are better off retry than having a heavy FEC. So we wanted to reflect that critical standard here. Now, this is, I guess there are elsewhere that this approach is used too. So it's all related to balance of error correction and detection and correction and overall method.
I think we decided first on the latency side. We decided to say how much is the latency, including FEC, if exists, from TX macro output to RX MAC input. That's basically, let's call it 1 gigahertz core clock logic before serialization and deserialization. If you are passing 1 gigahertz clock, 1 gigahertz 1 gigabit per second data,
Yeah,
how that is gonna look like. And if you don't have FEC, again measure it. Then these two numbers is gonna be different if you have FEC, and these two numbers is gonna be exactly the same if you don't have a FEC. Previously,
Correct.
previously we fixed the bit error rate and we asked, okay, this latency should be basically with respect to 1 to the power of minus 15. But now we drop that. Instead, we are reporting, hey, you do have a FEC. Now you tell us in the top case scenario in line number 40, how much is the bit error rate? And how much is the bit error rate associated with the scenario of the 41? Again, these two numbers is gonna be exactly the same if you don't have a FEC. But for retry, I think it's pretty hard to come up with some quantitative number here, and we just stuck to it and we say, okay, do we have a retry or we don't have a retry? That's it. But I
think
really
that's
like
good.
to hear from you guys if you have a better way of quantifying the quality of the retry.
Yes. I think there are ways that in PCIe it's been discussed, but I think overall I agree with your approach at this point, you know, because there are not that many you know, cases where retry is used. So for now, we could, at least my 2 cents is, we could just have this as a binary Boolean, yes, no.
Sorry, Majid, I'm gonna actually suggest something, but I need your expertise because you're heavily involved in PCIe and UCIe, the concept of the retry, at least more than myself. Correct me if I'm wrong. It just came to my mind. Can we actually say what's the target bit error rate after retry? Can we identify that at least?
Yes, I think there is such a thing. So, and I think retry in this case came up because the latency, especially CXL, is so important. So the high level statement is we are better to retry than have a stronger FEC.
Then sorry.
And better off to have a strong CRC, light FEC, and retry. But
Correct.
it's conditioned on 10 to the minus 6 as a pre-FEC. You know, in other words, it can't be too bad of a channel for this to apply.
Wait, this is not a relevant discussion anymore. If we're discussing implementations, and implementations follow a choice made by a standard. We're not debating whether if the standard uses a retry, you got to use, your implementation has to use a retry. Whether your standard is compliant or not, nothing else.
No, but
retry delivers certain post error detection and correction in combination with CRC and FEC. So I think it would be reflected up there, but that's not, you know, yeah, if we extend error detection and correction rather than you know, post FEC, or it would be reflected. But I think the idea of retry here is just as a binary, it's useful.
No, but the implementation doesn't have a choice as far as I can tell. If you're UCIe, you have no choice but to support a retry.
No, I think there were methods. In fact, we brought.
Wait, what am I missing? If the standard says you need to do retry, what choice do you have as an implementation other than obeying the standard?
But once they go to PCIe 7 and 8, the conclusion of discussions in PCIe.
Is it me or everyone? I have a hard time hearing Majid.
Me too. Is breaking up.
You're cutting off.
I have to revisit this.
No, I agree with that. But that's more of an abstract philosophical discussion, right? Here we're saying you're evaluating a PHY that a vendor provides.
Majid, we barely hear you. You're cutting
Sorry,
off.
I'm in the train. I'm in the train. Sorry, that's why. No, no. I think what PCIe's specific case is, you know, it delivers certain figure of merit. So as a result, I thought it's good with. I mean, FEC is just one method of dealing with errors, right? Hello.
Yeah, we at
Yeah.
least myself, I had a hard time.
So I suggest. I mean, unless there is strong, I think the way we have it is as a binary. We cannot really qualify it, but it's just a flag that we could have because that's how it's dealt with.
But if there is a target bit error rate after retry, at least we can mention that.
Yes,
what I was
exactly. That there is.
I have some annotation. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but
Yes.
this is what I really like to see. For example, we say without FEC, between TX and RX macro. For example, I'm just making up these numbers, okay? Might be totally wrong. But I'm getting 1 e to the power of -5, -6. If I threw a light FEC, I can reach it to -10, 11, 12. And if I do retry, I can get it to 1 e to the power of -18. Can we define something like that, or this is out of?
Yes. No, you can. And I think if you want to sort of include all the methods that are used in PCIe CXL, there's a combination of CRC, FEC, and retry.
Oh, there is a CRC level as well.
No, and a very strong CRC. That's they because they want certain post error detection and correction performance. They sort of throw in all the tools that exist, or few tools that exist.
Then should we redefine this bit error rate as these 3 levels or 4 levels that we draw? This is a better way of saying it.
Yeah, I think if you changed your post FEC to post error detection and correction, then that's good. Because it's not just FEC that they use.
But unless the standard itself that they're obeying specifies this, you're asking them to. We're now saying, okay, the UCIe specs specifies this beta rate, but on top of these, we want you to we recommend that you report these other things. I'm asking, right?
Bobby, I was hoping actually then we can define latency in these 4 levels, except retry. Retry timing is.
What do I do if I'm a guy who's buying IP with those numbers?
I think what Shahab is putting up is good. You have a pre and post, mitigation of errors, and it has certain latency implications, and that then it would be a good cost benefit of the methods used to achieve those latency performance.
Back to your question, if I'm buying an IP, let's say if my target bit error rate is 1 e to the power of -5, I'm just making okay. Then based on the standards, then I can pick, should I have a FEC or should I not have a FEC? And I'm gonna pick something that is give me 1 e to the power of -5 with that much of the latency. But if my really top level requirement is absolutely 0 error, it's a memory thing, for example, then this has to get pushed to e to the power of -23. Then I need to have some system level error correction on top of this to bring this -18 to -23. But for example, if one of the Boy implementation, sorry, I'm again gonna pick up Blue Cheetah, is coming here and say, hey, you don't need FEC, you don't need retry, you don't need CRC, I'm just going to give you TX to RX e to the -23. That could be a perfect solution for me because I can save that much time.
Correct, but this is this is now veering into the space of alternative benefits from protocols, not necessarily the benefit of an implementation of a protocol.
It does, because in my implementation, maybe I have a stronger TX and RX, and I get 1 e to the power of -8, for example, and another vendor is doing much better design or much worse design, which they can, the number is going to be different.
Okay, so that I buy. So if you have a much higher bit error rate because of a fancier implementation, then your probability of retry goes down, basically.
Correct.
Right, but I think a good example, and this is the real world can-do example. In our chiplet interconnect standard IP, we actually have a FEC, very low latency FEC, and this allows us to do more stressed cases, like in terms of reach or bend in the interconnect, etc. And as a result, we could make a larger MCN. So that, and then without sacrificing this figure of merits of latency and error rate, etc. So I think that this is all sort of related to top IP you buy.
Yes, but again, you're making a point around your protocol choices, not around whether the implementation obeys your protocol choice.
It is Bobby. See, let me give another example. I'm implementing a protocol. You pick any name that you want, okay? But I have a very unique FEC that nobody can implement it like that. It's very, very lightweight and some power dissipation on it too. But I'm including it in my basically TX to RX link, and I'm not exposing it to anybody. For example, in case Majid has a, I'm just making it up. Sorry, Majid, I put you on a spot. He has a perfect FEC, and he's not revealing it what it is, and he's included in his TX and RX. And the bit error rate that he's reporting between TX and RX is going to give me 1 e to the power of minus, I don't know, 15, for example. And he's not actually telling us what kind of FEC it is, but he has to report the latency added to it. And maybe he's okay to include that.
But that's no longer a UCI PHY. That PHY can't interoperate with anybody else's UCI PHY and produce the same results.
Of course.
So you, again, all the examples in my head that we're cooking up or generating, which I agree with, they're about protocol choices, not about whether the implementation matches a protocol.
No, it's exactly, it depends on the implementation, not the protocol.
But if you have a FEC, it's not an implementation choice, it's a protocol choice. Your choice of a FEC, if you have a magic FEC, you're integrating that FEC into your, unless I'm talking to myself or the other and nobody can decode the FEC.
Exactly, that's the point that we're going to make here.
Right, but that's a protocol choice. A FEC is a part of the protocol. It's a part of the standard. I mean, the entire intent is for you to buy a UCI or BO PHY. If you're saying, okay, maybe we can have a separate section on bidirectional, proprietary enhancements, that I buy. But as far as the standard goes,
but it's not proprietary. I think you're focusing on electrical, let's say here. But what we're talking about, you call it protocol, but really these are techniques of communication. Includes, I mean, in any channel you have these other things other than signaling. You also have link layer and retry and FEC and etc. and CRC. So I think it helps the benchmarking better.
Sorry, Majid, Bopi is right. Bopi is telling us if there is an interop in that protocol, if you are actually putting yourself in the UCIe, no advancement of UCIe, or you are on the BO and you are not on the basically a sub version of the BO that you develop by your own, you either have FEC or you don't have a FEC, or you have a specific standard for FEC and you have to report it based on that to qualify yourself for interop.
No, I agree. In terms of interop, I 100% agree. Even UCIe, because it's tied to PCIe and CXL, effectively they have this protocol, let's say retry and, logical 5, which is part of this benchmarking effectively, because otherwise you can't compare UCIe with what we're doing in both, because they are using other methods, right? So I think at least as a minimum, it would be good to be mentioned.
Yeah, I agree about mentioning it, but I hear the point that Bobby is raising also. Bobby is, I believe, is more concerned on the different implementation of the bow, not different standard of the bow. Same standard of the bow and UCIe implemented by different vendors. And then we don't have a choice to say, okay, this has an extra FEC or not, or it has a retry or not. Because it has to be inter-op. For example, UCIe must have a retry.
Correct. That's exactly right. I mean, so all this falls into the bucket of proprietary extensions. Hey, if I have my file at both ends, here's the bonus you get, is a worthwhile category.
Exactly.
I kind of disagree here, because and to give a better case, think about Ethernet, for example, 800 gig, etc. Right?
Okay.
Ajit, we can hear you.
He's often super
Sorry, I just and I don't want to give you all this noise of the train station. No, I was bringing the example of Ethernet 5. As you go to 800 gig, 400 gig, from the get-go, you had all this spec as you went to higher rates. And now get error correction that are a part of the benchmarking or not. You will be able, you won't be able to cover, for example, 800 gig.
Right, but the standard has to specify that, right? Not the implementation.
Right. Okay. So do you consider UCIe case of retry part of UCIe standard or not?
Retry is a part of the standard. The FEC they use, whatever they use, that's a part of the standard. Anything other than that is proprietary.
Correct. So that's why we had these lines here. That's all.
Right. So I'm
say-
okay with calling these proprietary value adds from the file, and we can see what the reaction is. But fundamentally, we have to recognize that the standard itself, unless we can see value to generating these numbers and say, look, if these numbers are great, then your probability of retry goes down. In my head, is a great value.
Correct, Bobby, but as a way of measurement, I think it's not a bad idea to report this number, because it actually shows the quality of implementation. For example, standards define, I'm just making it up. For example, 35 dB loss in one of the standards.
Oh, I buy that 100%.
But there are people that come in, hey, we meet the 35, but we also can do 40 if you buy TX and RX from us.
100%. I'm completely on board. I just want to point out that we cannot have the retry versus FEC debate. That's it. Everything else, I'm fully on board.
We are 100. I'm 100% agree with you.
Yeah, that's it. It's more if we can tie these two things that a purchaser cares about. I think we have a valid case.
Correct. I think the point that I was not aware of it was CRC, which maybe we can chat later on, Majid. I try to get us to 10 a.m., which we are there, and we can offline chat, Majid, about CRC and prepare something for next meeting to be more efficient, if you want.
Sure. No, I think the end result is what kind of figure of merits you get.
Correct. Or before figure of merit, what kind of parameters we need to ask people to report.
Right. Good. So maybe we could have a short session sometime.
Sure.
Well, you please use tomorrow's bow meeting. Hey, Shahab, the other thing which we didn't get to because we don't, it's important to have a quorum for that discussion. Hopefully Quinn and Bunchong will be available tomorrow's BOM meeting, is to sort of work backwards from the February date if we want to publish in March or something like that.
Okay, sure.
But at the February workshop, we want to sort of say, hey, we have this workshop, this white paper is 90% done, look forward to its release in March, basically.
Okay.
So so somewhere in January we have to, or at least in the back last week of December, we have to start writing, or at least give out writing assignments.
Okay. I think we don't have that much yellow copy. It's really simple. The yellow ones are that needs more discussion.
Yeah.
If we sort out this FIC and this type of reporting, which I believe it's a good one, the reach is obviously simple to define. Then we should have everything in maybe a couple of weeks explaining what are these parameters and how we need to measure it.
Well,
and we should be good to go.
One thing we can do is all the ones we agree on, parcel out to people with your slide deck and say, can anybody volunteer to write it? And you and I can sign up to write the yellow ones.
We will do that.
And so then at least we give everybody a start at writing, everybody gets 2 or 3 parameters of their choice.
Correct. And also, I'm not hearing from Synopsys in this meeting. I think they showed up once. I may actually to reach out to someone else and ask from Synopsys to be part of this activity.
Sure. And I think that's awesome. So maybe in the meeting, I'll be on the road next week. So maybe in the meeting on the 19th, we can talk about assignments. Who wants to pick up which section?
That would be great.
So if you could please cover that in tomorrow's BOM meeting and even next Wednesdays, that would be awesome.
Okay, we will do that.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Majid. Thanks, Quinn, and
Thanks. Bye.
Bunchong.
Okay, talk tomorrow.
Okay.